2024 wouldn't be complete without, a possession movie or two. And thanks to Netflix and Lee Daniels, we got one with The Deliverance, a movie that's totally inconsistent, and it's basically two movies mashed together, and it does not work at all. So yeah, right out the gate, we need to address the fact that this is like two movies just like jammed together, and it's just like, it's so jarring. It's like the first half of this movie is a very intense and raw, emotional family drama, and then halfway through, smoke monsters start showing up, people start getting possessed, and it turns into horror schlock. And I'm just like, it is so like baffling to me that they thought this would be a good idea. It's like, you're either a family drama or you're a possession movie. Like, pick a lane, because doing them both together, it is not a cohesive narrative. It just feels so out of place, and just like, it's just so jarring. And that kind of sucks, because I'll be honest, like, before I went into this movie, I saw the Rotten Tomato score and I was like, oh god, here we go, another Netflix, garbage dumpster fire. Within the first 10 minutes, I was like, damn, this is like kind of intense. I'm actually kind of digging this family drama that they got going on here. And then, halfway through the movie, it just pivots into like the paranormal, and I'm just like, I lost interest so fucking fast halfway through this movie, and it's just a shame, because I think the first half of this movie is pretty damn strong. It's like Lee Daniels was like, hey, I'll make a pretty compelling, family drama, and then halfway through, he just passes the baton to some like horror hack who's seen one too many possession movies, and it just turns into like nothing. It just turns into nothing. And the second half of this movie just becomes so predictable and lazy. It's like all of the things you expect from a possession movie are here. It's just checking things off the list. A child possessed, check. A child speaking in a raspy voice, speaking different languages, check. Someone doing a spider crawl up a wall, check. I mean, it's just like, and a possession at the end, or an exorcism at the end, or excuse me, I should say, a deliverance at the end. It's, check. It turns into just such a boring, uninteresting, possession movie that we've seen a million times before. And yeah, I know that like they do introduce some paranormal activity in the first half of the film that's kind of mixed into the family drama. But the problem is that the family drama is so intense. The spookiness in the beginning of the movie, the first, hour of the movie, it's almost like an afterthought. It's like something spooky happens, but then by the next scene, the kid's like, goes up to his mom, and he's like, where's my money? And she's like, I don't have your money, you fucking bitch. Go back to your room. And they start fist fighting in the kitchen, and you're like, god damn. It's like the intense, raw, emotional, visceral kind of like family drama is scarier than the actual spooky stuff. It's like, again, it just feels like the spooky stuff is like nothing. It's like, yeah, okay, the kid is speaking a different language and repeatedly bashing his head into a wall, but so what? It just doesn't, the two things just do not mix. I kind of want them to, because in a way it's like, if Zach Baggins has taught me anything, it's that demons feed off of negative energy. So I get that, like, you want to have a family drama that and everyone's yelling at each other and fighting, and that feeds into the demonic stuff, but it's just like, it does not work. Like the spookiness is just like background noise to the foreground, which is these family issues, and these family issues are what's more important to the story than the spookiness. Whereas I think most horror movies would kind of reverse that, where it's like most horror movies pay a lot of attention to the spookiness and the paranormal, and it gets you scared. But this movie, like I said, it's just kind of an afterthought. It's like Lee Daniels turned in his screenplay to this, with this family drama that he's written, and Netflix is like, what this movie needs? Fucking demons, man. It needs demons, it needs ghosts, it needs, someone get a rewrite in this script so we can deliver a spooky, scary family drama. And it's like, I don't know, man, you gotta pick a lane. You're either a possession movie and you go hard with the possession and the spookiness, or you're a family drama, because the two of them, it does not make a cohesive film. And despite this movie having an identity crisis, there are some things I actually liked about it. I think the performances are very, very strong. I think Andra Day, who plays the mom, is like so intense. It's like, it's almost to the point where she's so good at being this she's almost like a villain, to be honest, and she's scarier than anything else. She's scarier than anything in that fucking closet, I'll tell you that. Like, anytime she's on screen and she's firing on all cylinders, you kind of like gripping your seat. You're like, oh my god, is she gonna fucking kill these kids? And then there's Glenn Close. Glenn Close doesn't have a whole lot to do in this movie. She's just kind of around, but just her presence in this movie, it totally works. And she acts a lot without saying dialogue. Just the look on her face sometimes, you're just like, we got a veteran acting in the building. And yeah, I thought Glenn Close was amazing. I'm glad she's in this movie. All the kids I thought were really convincing. I know sometimes it's hard to have child actors that really rope you in, but I thought all three of the children here were fantastic. And again, like, I'll reiterate, I do think the family drama that takes place for half of this movie is pretty interesting. It's like, it's kind of depressing and it makes you feel bad, but it makes you feel things. Like, I love movies that are kind of depressing and a little more sad. I like that kind of stuff. And I feel like this movie did a good job at like capturing this emotional fractured family, and I was on board with it. It just sucks that there's like spooky ghosts around, and it's just like, and then when the movie takes that turn into possessive fucking schlock, it almost undermines the entire movie, and it sucks. And when you're making a possession movie, you have one job. You have one job, and that is to make a thrilling, exciting, exorcism, or a deliverance scene. You have to hit that scene. That's what the movie is building towards. And this, oh my God, this Deliverance was just so paint by the numbers and so bland. I don't know, man. Like, I could have fallen asleep and I wouldn't have missed a thing. Like, it's so dumb. It's just the things you've seen before a million times in possession movies. This movie doesn't do anything new other than the fact that, apparently demons can just disappear like they're fucking Nightcrawler storming the White House. I don't know. It just, the climax of this movie is just so dull, and it's just uninteresting. It's embarrassing, to be honest. It's embarrassing. It's so bad. So at the end of the day, I can't recommend The Deliverance. I just think it's tonally inconsistent. If you just want to watch a good family depressing drama, then just watch half of this movie and then turn it off, and you don't have to watch the possession bullshit. You probably have a lot of fun with the first half of this movie, more or less, but again, the second half of this movie just fucking kills it. It's just this nosedive and an explosion into fucking nothingness. So yeah, I can't recommend this one. I think this is skippable, which is unfortunate, because again, I do think the first half is pretty compelling stuff. That's just my opinion. Did you see The Deliverance? Did you watch it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you have the same problems I had? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to know your thoughts. And until the next time, I will see you on the next one.